one of the most cursed films of all time. We're going to dive into all the details of why this 1950s film could be the most cursed film in cinema history today on That's the Story, and I'm sticking to it. In 1953, Marlon Brando starred in the film The Wild Ones. It was like one of the first films that dealt with juvenile delinquency in the 50s. And it really opened the floodgates for many, many more films about juvenile delinquency. And there came so many over the years, especially in the 50s and the 60s. But in 1955, just a couple years after The Wild Ones was released, came a film called Rebel Without a Cause. And Rebel Without a Cause, literally for most people, most film historians and most movie fans will tell you, Rebel Without a Cause is probably one of the best juvenile delinquency films in the history of cinema. The film was written by Stuart Stern, Erwin Schulman, and Nicholas Ray. It was also directed by Nicholas Ray. Rebel Without a Cause was released in October 27th, 1955. Now, the cast was kind of interesting when you think about it. We had a lot of interesting, actors in this film. You had Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood was early in her career, was probably best known for being in the Christmas classic Miracle on 34th Street. But there was newcomers of Sal Mineo, and there was James Dean. But probably one of the most well-known faces and voices found in Rebel Without a Cause would be Jim Backus. Jim Backus, of course, played in the classic sitcom I, Mary Joan, and in Gilligan's Island as Thurston Howell III. But he's probably most iconically known for that voice of Mr. Magoo in the cartoons. Now, Rebel Without a Cause basically is about a troubled and yet sensitive teenager named Jim, played by James Dean. He rejects his elders' values and desperately seeks to belong with people and have a purpose in his life. He finds himself in a violent war against gang members, and he finds comfort with fellow troubled teens, Judy, played by Natalie Wood, and Plato, played by Sal Mineo. Probably many people would remember the iconic quote. Usually quotes are the things that we remember with films, and this one had a really iconic one with James Dean screaming, "You're tearing me apart!" And it's pretty intense. It's a pretty intense film. AFI's American Film Institute did 100 Years and 100 Films, and Rebel Without a Cause found its place on that list at number 59. So, no doubt, it is probably one of the better films of the 50s, actually. But now, we went through all this. It's kind of the history of Rebel Without a Cause. But why do we say this film was cursed? Well, this is a big tragedy with this film, as 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the characters, the actors in this film tragically died. And not in the most just going to sleep. Kind of interesting. So we're going to look into this today. First off, there's an actor in this film played by Nick Adams. He played Chick in this film, and he was romantically involved with Natalie Wood for a while, and was very close friends with James Dean. But something really interesting is found out here. Nick Adams was found in his in the bedroom of his place where he was staying, and dead. He was completely dead. I mean, and there was no signs of struggle. There was nothing. It's really strange because they found, when they did an autopsy, they found that he had sedatives and other drugs in his body. Now, the interesting thing is they could not find any prescription drugs or any kind of drugs in the apartment or in the place anywhere. And one of the drugs that they found was a drug that you use to help you when you're trying to quit drinking alcohol. Yet everybody knew that Nick Adams never drank. He didn't drink at home. He didn't drink socially. He just didn't drink. They deemed the death accidental, and that was it. Kind of sad when you think about it. Sal Mineo, he was nominated for an Oscar for his performance in this film, which rightfully so. It's an amazing performance that he brings to this thing. But Sal, sadly, was found stabbed to death at his home a decade after this film was released. And some people had stated that the reason that he was stabbed to death was because he was homosexual. And people felt that it was a hate crime. But the man that did that, his name was Lionel Ray Williams, and he professed, he said he had no idea, number one, who he was, and number two, that he was homosexual. Sad. James Dean. Now, I love James Dean. I love James Dean's films. East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, tremendous films. He was going to be a superstar. He really was going to be a superstar. He was that great of an actor. He was going to be a superstar of an actor. He was, if he wouldn't have died, my feeling is James Dean would have probably went down in history as one of the greatest actors of all time. That is how great he was. I love James Dean. I love James Dean so much that I have a special collector's tin picture that we have here at Classic Cinema Plus Studios. We'll put a picture of it right here. It's kind of a cool thing. It's a collector's tin that we picked up at a store in Kentucky, and it is so cool. It is kind of a promotional poster for Kist Cola. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But James Dean, one thing James Dean loved was he loved racing, and tragically, James Dean died racing, flying down the street in his sports car, and tragically died, crashing his car. Now, the interesting thing in this is that just one of the last things he ever, shot was a PSA about driving safe. Sad. Then the final one, of course, Natalie Wood. This has been talked about for years and years and years and years. 1991. Or 1981, I should say. 1981. Natalie Wood was on a yacht with her husband at the time, Robert Wagner, and fellow actor Christopher Walken, and they were, apparently drinking, and some people said they were that Wood and Wagner were arguing. I don't know that for sure. I don't know the details of that, but some say that. And sadly, she fell overboard and drowned. There's been a lot going on with this, and people say maybe it was not so accidental as we think. And Robert Wagner has went on trial about that and been accused of that and different things. And we're not here to accuse anybody of anything, but the thing is, number one, it is a tragedy. It was a real tragedy. And all those investigations have turned up with no leads of this is what happened or what. So it is just deemed an accident. You know, it's tragic. Any way we look at it, it's still tragic. Rebel Without a Cause was a tremendous film, a great film, a spectacular piece of cinema. But there's a tragedy when it comes to this wonderful film when you think 4 amazing actors died. Can we say Rebel Without a Cause was cursed? Well, the evidence would kind of suggest that, wouldn't it? But me specifically, I don't believe in film curses. But I'd like your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts? Do you think Rebel Without a Cause was cursed? If so, if you believe in the cursing of films, what is a film that you think is cursed? Let us know in the comments. I'd like to read your comments and see what you think. Also, be sure to go to Classic Cinema Plus. We have tons of articles up there. We do tons of reviews and all kinds of stuff up there, so be sure to go there and check that out. Also, if you like these videos, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let somebody know about it. And definitely subscribe and hit that bell so that you'll be aware of the next video that comes up. And as always, we thank you for joining me today on this series, That's the Story. And I'm sticking to it. Join us next time as we delve into the history of another classic film on this series. And until we're with you next time, this is Jason reminding you that if you want to see a great film or a TV series, check out a classic. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.